Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, Mr. Chu. We from Blue Fox Consulting, that is Katharina, Martin and Clement, and of course myself, Susanne, are excited to talk to you today about how to invest into 4G in the most profitable way for you and for RSI. So your vision is to become the leading facilitator for the cutting-edge innovation in the telecommunications industry. And we advise you to use the following strategy. First, you research a startup, then you acquire the startup, as you already did with the software company, then you learn about the startup, and you partner up with RSI that will give the capital you need for a bigger investment. So you will profit and RSI will profit as well. So this is the road to 4G. And what is in for you and for RSI? RSI will get a net present value of about $272 million, and you will get a carried interest of at least 14 million. So this is how the business model looks like. So as I already told you, you acquire the startup, you research for a leading company, that is, for example, M1 or StarHub, and you advise RSI to acquire this company so you can profit in two ways. For once, you get the carried interest via RSI, and secondly, you get direct income from the startup you acquired. So you are now at a crossroad. You can either acquire M1 or StarHub. So these are our decision criteria. As you can see, the most important ones are the profitability and the business model fit. And now, my dear colleague Katharina will talk to you a little bit more about the alternatives. Thank you.
Thank you, Susanne. Well, as Susanne mentioned, there are two alternatives, and each of those have many benefits. I will just mention a few for each. First of all, there's the solution World Connect, which would include acquiring StarHub. The major advantage of this solution is that this company will have the management experience, since Mr. Montefiore, the ex-CEO from M1, will join the company soon, and he also led the launch of 3G at M1. On the other hand, there's the Fastlane solution, which would include acquiring M1. This company has a major advantage because they were actually the company to launch 3G a couple of years ago in Singapore. So they already have the know-how, they know how to do it. So let us look at the decision matrix, which includes the decision criteria that we established earlier. As you can see in the end, Fastlane solution is really the better thing, the better plan for you to do. This has two main reasons. On the one hand, the experience that I mentioned earlier. On the other hand, they have the better business model fit, since they are specialized in the Singapore market, and so they know how to roll out this new technology in the market in Singapore. So if you now look at the business model with taking into account M1 and the software firm, you can see exactly now how the business model in this case would look. If we take a closer look at the business model of M1, you can see that due to the unique key resources and key processes, M1 is actually able to offer the consumer in Singapore what he wants the most, which is the latest technology. So, if M1 really wants to become the operator of choice, and if he wants to become the leader in personal voice, data communication, and business, this company must invest into 4G, because 4G is the future. There are many advantages of 4G. The most important one is probably that it is a lot faster than 3G. To give you now, my dear colleague Clemens will give you a more detailed look on the implementation. Thank you.
Thank you, Katharina. The decision to jump onto the 4G train has to be made very quickly. Thus, it is paramount to convince RSI of replacing the management very soon. Consequently, you also have to convince RSI that your software company is the right company to partner up for the 4G implementation. You have to convince them that it will be a win-win situation. The earlier you funnel the deal to your own company, the faster M1 can start implementing 4G, and the faster will your software house turn profitable. As such an installation generally also involves a service level agreement. You will secure constant cash flows to your subsidiary. However, be aware that 4G only is a temporary technology. You will need to consider divesting at a certain point in time. You also need to advise RSI to divest once the capital gain rate is highest. Okay, also the management change that I mentioned. It's important to get a new CIO on the board, as he is responsible for choosing the new software partner. It's important to get a person on the board that is involved in the deal. Okay, M1 is not only the logical partner for this project, M1 is also undervalued at the moment. Its current share price does not reflect its true value. So we believe that with a change in management and a more aggressively run company, you will be able to change the structure of the company and get a positive net present value out of it. Okay, lastly, we're going to advise you to do it in a two-step way. First, make a buy-in of 40%, and secondly, have a capital increase to secure a majority stake. The details of this deal will be provided by my dear colleague Martin.
Thank you. So, as Clemens told us so far, we are planning to have a two-step takeover structure. First, the current situation, we have a free float of M1 of 40%. In the first step, the public offer, and in the second step, we have a capital increase. So here we can see again the current shareholder structure with the three main strategic investors and the free float. And step one is the public offer. We are offering a 24% premium on the current share price to acquire 40% of the outstanding shares. On the left-hand side, you can see graphically the premium. On the right-hand side, we forecasted what premium is needed to get the 40%. The shareholder structure after the first step will look like that. We will have, Red Sea Investment will have the 40% stake. In the second step, we are planning a capital increase. This capital increase is important that it's an X rights capital increase, which means that a dilution effect is assured as all shares can be bought by Red Sea Investment. And this is important because then the shareholder structure, Red Sea Investment will have 50.1%, so the controlling stake. But what does it actually cost to acquire the third largest Singapore mobile operator? So we forecasted a total cost of the 50.1 stake in M1 with 1.149 billion Singapore dollar. But is it worth it to invest this money in this company? So to answer that question, we run two discounted cash flow models, one on a standalone basis, the second one on an acquisition case. We can see in the acquisition case that the value of equity per share after the acquisition is 3.51, which gives us an internal rate of return of 15.8% of this investment on a 5-year basis. The net present value for Red Sea Investment will be 272 million Singapore dollars. So, ladies and gentlemen, to wrap things up, we showed you which direction to go, which target to acquire. We showed you what the main benefits of M1 are, and mainly we want to emphasize the experience of the launch of 3G. We showed you how to best structure this deal, speaking of two steps in the deal structure, and we showed you that you will gain, that Red Sea Investment will gain a net present value of 272 million, and Sadio Investment a carried interest of 40 million. Ladies and gentlemen, we would be happy to discuss further steps with you personally. We want to thank you for your attention, and we hope to see you in Singapore. Bye.
Goodbye.